Okay, can you hear me normally now when I'm just on my screen with the picture and no anything? Okay. Knowing me, it's just something I've screwed up, even though it should be, well, I don't know why, it's just not intuitive. That would be nice if it was just intuitive, but hey, let's try again. Okay, can you still hear me? Okay. Right, well, we're back with Nightcall, so we'll see how it goes. If it mucks up again, let me know, and I'll probably just call it, because, yeah. Alright, what do you want? Oh, you're not going to tell me what you want, you're just going to go to me. Okay, fine. I need to go to Faubourg Saint-André. Sure. Whatevs. The next passenger getting in your cab has a surprisingly calming presence. He gently closes his door and gives you an address on the other side of the city. You start driving. You sense your passenger wants to talk about the killer. It's simple. Since the first murder, everyone thinks they know something. Everyone thinks they saw something. And this passenger is no exception. Rather chilly out, isn't it? His name's Christophe. His voice is warm and deep. Finally, you notice his white collar. Oh, he's a priest. You're not too cold? No, I'm alright. You've got a lot of grit to want to drive in this kind of weather. The holy water font froze yesterday. We had to pour boiling water over it to break the ice. He pauses for a moment. He looks at the car, the seats, the windows. It's funny. I'd never made the connection before, but a taxi is kind of like a confessional. A small box removed from the world where two people can converse without the real risk of being interrupted. Apologies for murdering the French accent, Alkesh. He waits. You look at him in the rearview mirror. Do people blabber on about their lives? All the time. I'm not surprised. His face lights up. Why yes, I am doing exactly what my parishioners do when they come in for confession. They start with small talk, the weather, their grandson, granddaughter, niece, their dog, then they finally get around to what really matters. They share lies, trickery, stinginess. He sighs. I've been listening to people's confessions for over 15 years, and it's funny, but no one has ever told me anything really serious. He's waiting to see how you react. No crimes? A slight smile on his face. There have been things that are hard, on a personal level, but never anything illegal. It's just that the people I hear in confession have so much to say. Of course, we all have things we are ashamed of. Freud clearly underestimated the importance of the confession booth. He made it into something more modern, more attractive and less punitive. He pauses. Before going to seminary, I'd never doubted my calling. But since... He leans in closer. His voice is now lower and softer. Since then, I have a clear understanding of the world. I can connect religions, schools of thought, ideas. And living in a country that is less and less religious, it's hard not to start wondering. Your passenger makes a sound, like a cork popping from a wine bottle. I have something I want to tell you. It doesn't bother me that people stop believing or believe in something else. Why our faith more than another? He struggles to find his words. What bothers me is that I'm not bothered by it. It's like I've already accepted it. looks outside. Is there such a thing as driver-passenger confidentiality? He pauses and bursts out laughing. I am kidding, but I do wonder what people talk to you about. How would you feel about swapping stories? Sure. Really? I didn't think. He smiles. Nothing lives a scar, right? And he nods. Who first? You. Of course, it's only normal. There was this old man whose wife died very young. Since he was an avid churchgoer, he continued to come every Sunday morning. He clarifies. You should know it's rare to see men alone at church. There are couples, lots of old ladies, mothers, young women. Church is not very manly, unfortunately. But anyway, he came. One day he asked me to take his confession. We sat down. A long moment of silence went by. I usually let them get acclimated to the muffled sound coming from outside the booth, especially if it's their first time. And then he tells me that he's in love with someone else, but doesn't dare betray his deceased wife. She was everything to him, you see. His sun, his oxygen. For the last 20 years, he'd been suffocating, incapable of living alone. He wondered if it was a sin, or a wrong, or if he might upset his wife up in heaven. He pauses for a minute to let a smile spread across his face. I managed to find the right words, but he still wasn't sure and said he'd come back to talk to me again. He stops. He died that night in his sleep. I think of him often. We don't always hear our calling. We avoid our own destiny. His expression freezes. He hesitates, opens his mouth, stops himself, and then finally, Jota. You look at him. My story's a bit like yours, actually. It's a story that haunts you, so you think about it regularly. And not only because of everything that followed. The night of the terrorist attacks, the other drivers and I were helping get people home. I may have just got an achievement. Oh, Le Prêtre, 20G. I'm assuming for talking to the priest. The other drivers and I were helping people get home. We drove around, waved to people to get in, telling them it was okay, everything was going to be alright. It was chaos. They wanted to get home to their loved ones who weren't answering their phones. The slightest odd noise made them jump. Anyway, a woman and her husband got in the car. She wore a headscarf. He was glued to his phone. They gave me an address and we drove towards Rue de Rivoli. The radio was announcing the first estimations of the number of deaths. He started crying. She looked at me, stared at me in the rearview mirror, like she wanted to read my mind. We'd almost arrived when he told her to take her scarf off, that it would be easier for everyone that way. She refused. He raised his voice. She continued to stare at me in the mirror. The card speeds in front of you, you stop talking. How reckless. You glance at the meter, the green light, your rearview mirror. In the back seat, your passenger leans slightly forward. And what did you do? I nodded, insinuating that she was right, that it would all come down to that. She kept her headscarf on. I pulled over in front of the building. She got out first, walked towards the building without waiting for him. He paid me, lowered his eyes. He takes a second to process the story. He holds your gaze, hands clasped. Impressive, very impressive. You're saying we should remain proud of and faithful to our convictions. You nod, your passenger smiles, but something is not quite right, as if the smile were forced. Thank you for swapping stories with me. You've almost reached his destination. You notice your passenger has been keeping an eye on the dashboard clock. You park in front of the address he gave you and cut the motor. The passenger pays his fare and suddenly seems lighter and more at ease. Good luck. Bonne chance. He gets out of the taxi and disappears into a nearby building. Ooh, I got a tip! Nice. Whoa, okay. This lady, I think. Montparnasse? Sure. You pull up to a local police station to pick up your next passenger. She comes out from under an archway, visibly frightened. She slips into the back seat of the cab and gives you her address near Montparnasse. You glance at her in the rearview mirror and see how she is dressed. Everything all right, ma'am? You start the cab. Your passenger eyes you intently, reluctant to speak. Oh, sorry. Yes. You can barely hear her. She points to the car radio. Could I listen to the radio? You nod yes. Which station? My wallet was stolen. She pauses, then fixes her eyes on you. You freeze. I have money for the fare. Okay. The passenger senses your surprise. I just wanted to tell you. I could pay. She looks down. What kind of music? Excuse me? The radio. What kind of music should I put on? Classical? The woman shakes her head. No. Could you turn to 89.4? You hold down the button until you get to the station. On 89.4 there's nothing but static. Are you sure that... A hint of a smile plays across her mouth. Faint, but a smile even so. She waits a second or two before answering. Can you hear it? You lean forward slightly, closer to the radio. Behind the sounds of electric sputtering, there is something else. A shifting sound. It sounds like... whale song? A whale? A strange smile flickers across her face. Yes. Now that you mention it, you're right. Oh, I think I've got another bleep bloop. La mathématicienne, 15G. Her voice trails off. It's the frequency that causes it. It vibrates, it's constantly dancing about, pulled by all the incredible forces surrounding us. Most people listen to music, to the news. As for me, when I work, I like to listen to isolated frequencies like these. They're broadcast, but no one hears them. The proof that we exist. She smiles at you. You're getting closer to the passenger's address now. And what do you do for a living? Math. She seems mesmerized by the sound of the wavelengths. What kind of math? Algebra first. Linear algebra. And now, harmonic analysis. Spectral theory. A funny smile plays across her face. Do you know how it is, changing all the time? You nod, very slowly. The client suddenly straightens up and points to the radio. It's so beautiful, so incredibly beautiful. Listen. You listen. You only hear static at first, and then, little by little, like a distant figure, the music takes shape and slips softly into your ears. Beautiful, isn't it? To me, they were ghosts, and that's why I study science, and later mathematics. I wanted to know why. You pull over. She gets the fare ready while you slowly turn up the radio. Beneath the layer of interference, someone is speaking, like the voice of a child. Hi, Valbo. Thank you. You emerge from your trance and take the fare. Your passenger exits the cab and walks away without another word. You sit there, immersed in the sound of the radio a while longer. It has a soothing effect on you. You start the engine and drive away. Oh, we got a tip. That was nice of her. The door suddenly opens and a woman gets in the back seat. Having a good night? For a second, you freeze. Oh, une étoile. 15G. Okay, I have no idea what these achievements are for. It's one of the cops working on the judge's case. She grins at you. Her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at a hospital. Something already bothered you about her there. You know, it's actually pretty crazy. For weeks, I've been saying to myself there's something off about you. Something not so nice. I dug around, mulled it over, bugged my fellow cops about it, because I was sure you lied to us. Didn't lie. She whistles to cut you off. How rude. Hey, I'm talking. She has a cold sneer on her face. I'm going to be frank with you. She leans over to you. I don't think you're the judge. Nah, I just can't picture it. She squints, like she's trying to make you out from far away. Like you'd have gone to the extent of hurting yourself. Yes, between us it's a bit of a stretch. She stares at you. Not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. If I didn't know better, I'd think he had a crush on you. She smacks. No, I think he's more interested in your profile. In prison at 17, an icy chill fills your gut. You feel melted too. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you got out, you've kept a low profile, but you're lying about your name and your address. I checked. It's normal, I'd say. It's normal, you'd say. They get word of your time served, no loan for your permit, no lease for your car. Meaning no second chance at life. Her voice becomes softer, almost warm. I personally like guys who want a second chance. No, I like guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like guys who are willing to work for me. She leans forward, her shining cat-like eyes narrowing. My chief wants to go to the prosecutor with her first and last name with evidence. Actually, knowing him, he's not so hot on evidence. So I'll give you info. Victims, suspects, medical reports. Some photos that are a bit... She makes a gagging noise. You have to be discreet. Keep it between you and me. Interrogate, ask questions, stick around. A cop? She's tracked. Don't worry, you're already keener than half the squad. And don't forget, I'm not asking you to make an arrest and deliver the killer wrapped up with a bow in front of the station, okay? You're not Batman, you're just here to get me more information. She rummaged around her pockets for what seems like forever. Here, take my card. I'll call you in 3-4 days to just check in. We'll chat. I'll let you know if I have any new info. She takes on a didactic, paternalistic tone, like she was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught. Don't get arrested. Also, I wouldn't recommend trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like and I know who your friends are. You can either be the solution or the problem, my friend. Oh, I've got a bit Russian now. She takes a minute to scan your face, your emotions. If I have to, I'll check in on you now. Her smile is biting. That reminds you, does she know you're done time? You shake your head. She snickers. Oh, my little dirtbag. You cover your tracks for her. I did what I could. Yeah, if you say so. She sighs in a tired, exaggerated way. Don't try to mess with me, man. If things don't go well, I'll turn you in. I said your picture to all my friends in the media and every asshole in Paris. Your picture with your name on it, your real name. Anyone close to you will have their places searched, put into house arrest, spend nights in jail. Do you have any idea how dense these things are with that trial underway? You sigh. You know what she's trying to get at. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be brothers, actually. Nothing like that terrorist. She smiles. Just let me tell you, with that face of yours and your handle, they'll welcome you with open arms. You have no right. I know we have no right. She takes on a serious tone, businesslike. I want to catch this killer personally. I want to drag him to court, ruin his life with a bang. I can't watch this case. You got me and neither can you, right? We see eye to eye. So you can just say you're my informant, my CI. You ripped up in your gut. You saw your own insides. You were in a coma. Yeah, you have plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. She furrows her brow. Yeah, I think you're actually gonna do what I tell you to do. You investigate, ask questions, listen to all the rumors, and you come up with a list of suspects. She lays her hand on the door handle and freezes. Alright, don't get fired. Without this cap, you're worth nothing to me. You glare at her. I'm not gonna say anything now. She puts her hand up and you can hear the words behind it. This conversation never happened. I'm making sure you get more intel tomorrow. I'll find a way. Until then, not a word to anyone, obviously. Not a word. The door opens, squeaks, and slams shut. Bitch. You sit alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed, ears buzzing. Shit. On the back seat, the cop left a pile of papers. Shit. Key in the ignition, motor running. Radio on, crackles. You turn it off and start driving. Talking to passengers might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You will find them back at your studio after your shift. How's the stream doing? I mean, it's delayed on my side, but I don't know if it's delayed on everyone else's. I really don't know what's going on. Not that many people are here tonight, but I don't know, if you can let me know when you hear me say this, maybe we can figure out how much it's delayed, but I really don't know. I mean, yeah. Jagged. It looks like it from the video stats. Frame rate decoder's going up and down like a crazy thing. Not that I know really what it means, but that graph does not look healthy. Though it does say the quality status is excellent. No packet loss. Some lost frames. The frame rate is going up and down like crazy. Is it worth continuing, or do I just call it for the night? Sorry, I'm not talking, I'm just thinking. Well, the stream seems to be catching up with the cop yelling at him. God, can we just get something working? Now my laptop's just opening random windows. Wonderful. Yeah, I don't know whether you can hear me or what have you. 6 clues discovered available in your room. Next. I think I'm just going to call it here and just upload the FOD. Because at least I'll have that, but... Take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside, the city is slowly waking up. You still hear the hum of the taxi buzzing in your ears. You throw the files Bassett gave you on the table. On the wall, you hung up the big corkboard where you used to pin up photos of your nephews. They've been gone since you got out. Your plan is simple. Jot down all the pieces of evidence and connect them to the suspects. The guilty party, won't necessarily be the one with the most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence against them. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives, understand how he or she got into the situation. Yeah, that's like 6 minutes delay. That is ridiculous. Something's really wrong. A bus goes by, making the walls shake. You take your shoes off before getting to work. Okay, autopsy reports. Get a case. Those are the people that it could be. Heard in my taxi. I don't know, I might have to finish the day. Okay, I'm just gonna read the instruction stuff. Okay. Killer case. Oh, this is just adding all the stuff to the board. Okay, alright, that's added all my stuff to the board. Whoa. Killer's height is less than 1.8 meters. Well, they're all less than 1.8 meters. Death, execution. Killer knew the victims or researched them. Victims killed with one bullet in the neck. Killer left the message in chalk on the first 3 crime scenes. Message on crime scene 1, justice. Victim 2, killed an Algerian man never arrested. No signs of violence. Message on crime scene 2, you deserve this. Message on crime scene 3, time is up. Weapon, rare gun, used in the 70s. So, Piero Bataz, a cop in Paris. Gay in a relationship, never disclosed that information. Okay. Dad died 2 years ago. Something scandal, okay. Salim Mwedan, well-known lawyer, defender on the Doha case. Defender of 7 molested kids in poor neighborhoods. Was a promising football player when he was 10. Are these the victims? Or are these suspects? I think these might be suspects. Okay. Medical examiner, Claudia Campos. Escaped from Argentina. Lost her parents to the process. Paul-Marie Fragorand, retired cop, joined the police in '77. Born in the French Antilles, moved to mainland France in 1974. Hervé Gralouis, homeless man with an unknown background, briefly worked for victim 2 in the 90s. Got health issues after the health scandal. Ricardin, someone else had a health scandal connection. Him. You deserve this. Okay. I don't think I can get anything more, so I'm going to end the night. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You pull open the sofa bed, which unfolds with an unpleasant creak. You collapse on the mattress. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed, your body aches, and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It looks awfully empty. Tomorrow you'll have a chance to fill it up more. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. And suddenly, you're asleep. Probably shouldn't go to sleep with a cigarette, mate. You open one eye. It's pitch black outside. Time for work. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. 9 to 2. Okay. So... Is that a cat? Okay, right. Back to the menu. Okay, so Jesse's just joined in. So hi Jesse, you'll probably hear this in 5 minutes. There's something really wonky going on my stream. It's like 5-6 minutes delayed. So I'm just going to call it. I'm tired, but I don't know why it's so delayed and why it's so janky. It's perfectly fine in OBS. Fairly certain it says there's no dropped frames. Oh no, it dropped 3 frames in the whole thing. It's only 2% of the CPU is running at 60 FPS. But, you know, the stream's so far behind, so I'm assuming I've set up something wrong. I don't know. I probably did something stupid with the scene. I'll have to talk to Leaky. But I don't even know if you're going to hear me say goodbye, because it's going to cut off, probably, because, you know, whatever. I'm sorry, it's just really shit. So, let me just tab back. Oh god, what the hell are you doing? Sorry, I'm just trying to get my window back, so... Let me just put it on the non-thingy window. I don't know whether it's going to make a difference, because if the game is delayed anyway, then... If the stream is delayed anyway, then I don't know what's going on, but I figure, you know, I'll do my sign-off on this screen, and then... At least this screen looks good. It's been a